Hi, this is Pastor Craig. We're continuing our midweek series looking at our baptismal promise, a 5-point promise that all of us make when we're baptized Christians. And today's weekly focus is our promise to serve all people following the example of Jesus. Now, when you first hear about that, that seems to set the bar awfully high, almost unattainable. None of us are Jesus. As my dad likes to say, there's only one person who's walked this earth who's perfect, meaning Jesus, and I'm not him. But the good news is we're not called to be Jesus. You're called to be you and to serve people in the places that God has called you to in the capacities of which you were prescribed. So that's different for all of us, and it's certainly not Christ level of service, but it's a human level of service that we're called to do. And there's a variety of ways to interpret that. For some help on that, we've asked a variety of people, and here's what you had to say.
Well, one way I serve others is I help coach speech and drama stuff at my school.
And how do you feel like that is serving those that you're coaching?
Well, it serves my drama director by taking a big load off of her back, and it also helps the students that I'm coaching because I am a more experienced member of the drama club, and I'm the drama club president, and so I can give them advice because I'm more knowledgeable and because I've been where they've been.
How have you served others?
In a couple of ways. I'm a really big blood donor, I guess.
Okay.
I volunteered at SEMP a couple times with my family. I volunteered with the flood relief. My grandma really needed a lot of blood transfusions, so that kind of helped, motivated me to do it. And other than that, it just makes you feel good.
I went on the mission trip to St. Louis last summer, and we helped in nursing homes, and we helped in a food bank, and recently I came back to Cedar Rapids from that mission trip and started helping out in Metro Catholic Outreach's food bank, so I've been doing a lot of that stuff.
Well, last fall, my football team and I went downtown to help de-sandbag houses, and so we did about 4. We de-sandbagged 4 during the flood relief. I'd say it was because I wanted to help give back, because that whole week I had no school, and it kind of felt like I was not really doing anything to help. And so, giving the opportunity, it was good. It was good for me.
I really see a lot of service done when, at school through our Best Buddies program, when you get students helping disabled students. I love seeing that because a lot of times they're doing it just because they want to help, and it's so awesome to see those people that just want to help others.
I see it a lot in my music teachers and directors, and how much extra time they put into their work outside of when they really are supposed to be doing that kind of work, just to make sure that everyone involved gets better in their own way, and the group as a whole is better, and it really pays off, and it's really nice to see how much they care about us.
Thanks.
Especially Mr. Jefferson.
Okay, so I do a lot here in the church. I am a kindergarten Sunday school teacher, and they're the sweetest. They just kind of teach you to be patient and to just really listen and just go along with what they're saying. I am the youth representative of the Hope team, and that just started, but we've only had one meeting, and since then it's just kind of sinking in that I have the chance to really make a difference.
Yeah. What's your super duper magic word, preschool?
Service. 1, 2, 3. Service.
This girl is a senior at the Naval Academy now. My name is Ralph Plagman. I was a teacher and administrator in Cedar Rapids High Schools for 49 years. Yeah, a lot of great memories. I'm very blessed. I was baptized and confirmed at a small church with a big name, St. John's Evangelical and Reformed United Church of Christ in the country, near Peterson, Iowa, by Brook School. And when I was in college at Buena Vista College, the pastor there was a young, probably firebrand is too strong a word, but very liberal, socially conscious young pastor who had actually been in some of the freedom marches in Mississippi when he was in college. So we're going back to the middle 1960s now. And he invited me to be a counselor at a middle school UCC church camp with middle school age children one summer, and I just loved it. And I finished that week and said, I'm going to work with kids in schools. And so I loved every part of it. Loved all the activities. People thought that it must have been a burden to go to all those thousands of games, football, basketball, soccer, track meets, cross-country meets, swim meets, tennis meets, but it wasn't. That was for the joy of it, to know the kids and to watch them achieve and do their best. I loved it.
Have you seen the video of, I think it's a principal, I don't want to say it's an African-American principal, it's a YouTube video, a viral video. He's got a handshake for each of the kids. Have you seen that?
I haven't.
He's got a special little handshake, he does with each kid in the lunch line. And it's different for each kid. They go through like 100 kids. Like, how does he remember all these handshakes? It just made me think of you, and you mentioned the lunch line, and you were famous for knowing almost every kid's name or every kid's name, as a matter of fact. One, how did you do that? How did you pull that off? Because I'm staying in amazement. And two, why did you do it?
Well, the why is the easiest because somebody taught me, again, many years ago, that the most important words to every person are his name or her name. Those are the favorite words of everybody. And I believe that, and I still believe it. And I worked at it, but it was fun. I loved doing it. I would print out, technology is so great these days, that I would print out the entire freshman roster, the entire sophomore roster of all the kids. And then multiple times, probably every week or so in the fall, and then maybe every month later in the school year, and I'd do it finally in June. I would check the ones when I saw the name, I get a face. Then I consider I knew them, and usually I hear something I knew about them. And I'd keep careful track of that. And when it got towards mid-year and there were some kids I did know, then I would make a point to look at their schedules and find out what class they were in. The most important thing I think that parents want to know about this principal of their school was, does he know my son or daughter? And does he care for them? I could usually get to about 1,100 or so names where I'd see their face and know the name. I just think it was maybe the most appreciated thing that I did, and it was the most important thing to me because I want to know them. To me, it wasn't a burden, it was a joy.
What do you think, Ralph, is particularly challenging to you about the call to, quote, serve all people, following the example of Jesus?
Well, I thank God every day that I am able to be a part of the Christian community, and always have been, and that the teachings of Jesus, or what I call the Christian beacon, guided me every day of my life. Now, that doesn't mean I always do the right thing, and it doesn't mean that I didn't falter on many occasions, probably every day, but that was always in front of me my entire career. That's why I did what I did. I consider it my ministry to serve a variety of people.
And you think about, Ralph, Christ knows us all by name. Do you ever think of yourself, you were like Christ-like in that moment?
I never thought of that. I never entered my mind till you, but I do, but that's true. He knows every one of us and every hair on our head.
Well, that's,
Adam.
Yes.
It is. I think
Dale's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Todd.
I think your lasting legacy will be you'll long be remembered for your caring heart. And I think that comes from your Christianity. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but how do you see it? And what do you think your legacy will be, and how does your faith play into that, do you think?
Well, I think I said earlier, it's everything. It defines my faith. I hope to find so I am, and how I live my life. Each and every day. I don't think there are any days off from your faith. And so I hope my legacy is that he was kind to everyone, and he did his best to help everyone that he could. It's all about relationships. It's all about loving people and being kind to them and doing your best every day for them.
Sounds a lot like Jesus.
Well, he should be the model we all emulate, shouldn't he? That's what I think, and obviously no human matches that. but it's that beacon. You know, it's that beacon that guides us, his teachings, that to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, to be, to love and serve, whatever need is there as best we can.